President Biden trying to project confidence while some inside the White House are worried about what lies ahead. Reports piling up about concerns over the economy. Political allies are faulting the White House for mixed messaging on the recovery. There are also concerns about growing inflation. And Axios is reporting some Democrats and economists think the president's spending plans could be too big. And the gas crisis the Biden administration told Americans would soon go away is still happening. In Washington, D.C., 71% of stations are out of gas, and other states are still experiencing shortages. So while warning signs may be flashing, President Biden is telling Americans there's nothing to worry about.
We've gone from stagnation to an economy that is growing faster than it has in nearly 40 years. We've gone from anemic job creation to a record of creation for a new administration. None has ever created this many jobs in this time frame. The progress is undeniable.
Greg, then when you hear your allies are complaining about your messaging, that usually actually points to a fact problem, not a messaging one.
Yes. And first of all, I had no idea that it was National Roadwork Day.
Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. And, you know, it's Infrastructure Week here on the 5.
You're wearing the official color of their signs. And I think that's really admirable. You need to support them.
I try to participate.
I was going to make a different comment, but the producer said I should probably shut up. Look, okay, there are two things that Biden says. He says that the economy is growing faster in nearly 40 years, and that he also inherited an anemic economy. But it forces everybody else, when they hear that, to do the cleanup. You can't fact check that. You have to do a complete fact sex change. The two facts that he's pushing are only positive if you pretend the pandemic didn't exist. The economy was anemic because we had the shutdown, and the economy is coming back because the shutdown is ending. It is that simple. To make that your 1-2 punch is kind of pathetic. And I do think that the reason why you don't see him or anybody in the media too worried about the gas stuff is because they don't drive. It's really stupid, but I'll make a generalization about this. Most people in the media don't drive. They don't care about this because they don't have a job that requires gasoline. They don't even know how to pump their own gas. The problem is they are not aware that all the people around them that need gas, that rely on fuel, the truckers, the Amazon delivery people that bring your Pilates mat, the seamless driver that brings you your Thai food. And so you may not drive, but other people are doing the driving for you.
Dagan, a lot of the concerns about the economy had been theoretical for a long time, like the possibility of inflation or shortages and those kinds of things piling up. But now, from your perspective, is there concrete evidence of any of that?
Yes, it just remains to be seen how much people's expectations about inflation change, because once you expect inflation, that's when those high prices are here to stay for a really long time. I'll argue that this is Joe Biden's America, and the real world consequences just showed up a hell of a lot faster than any Democrats expected, just in time for the midterms. That's why they're worried. Whoops. We're all getting to see where this Biderian brilliance would take this country. Open borders, done, happened really quickly. The only problem is the Democrats could manage the optics. Gas lines, Biden promised to transition away from the oil industry. Half of his infrastructure plan is aimed at eliminating fossil fuels. He already killed the Keystone XL pipeline on day one. And then Jen Granholm, the energy secretary, says, oh, well, if you just drove an electric car, you wouldn't be having a problem with the gasoline shortages. Then on top of that, you have government handouts and runaway spending. That extra $300 for unemployment is nothing compared to the 4 ginormous entitlements: universal pre-K, free child care, free community college, and paid family leave that Biden has plans to implement, but you don't even have to work for them. So how do you do it? The Federal Reserve keeps printing money. It's buying up all the debt. And what do you get? Crushing inflation that is a regressive tax on people who actually choose to work.
Right. So when you go to the store to buy things, it costs a lot more. That's like a tax, right. What you mean. So, Juan, this is a cover of the New York Post today. It says that Joe Biden is proving even more of a master of disaster than Jimmy Carter. I'm assuming you probably think that's a little too strong. I'll give you a chance to talk about that.
Well, I mean, I like tabloids as much as the next guy. It catch my attention as I'm walking past the newsstand. but it's just not real. I mean, let's just take a look at public opinion. The public opinion polls, Joe Biden's well over 50% in almost all the polls. I think in AP was like at 60% approval. So that's just a reality touch. I mean, you think about his policies in terms of dealing with COVID or in terms of his infrastructure plan. Again, the American people like these policies. They like the plan. So I just think, yeah, he has his critics, but, the big one to me in terms of the polls, by the way, Dana, is that for the first time, I think in like 4 years, most of the American people now say the country's on the right track. That is such an optimistic, positive way of seeing what's going on, and I think Joe Biden deserves some credit for it. By the way, I'm a driver, especially on weekends. I don't have to drive too much during the week, but on the weekends, I get out and about. And I got gas in D.C. this weekend. I think most of the gas stations in Virginia and Maryland, the adjacent jurisdictions, they have gas. So, and I think most people understand this wasn't the work of any policy. This is the work of hackers, hackers from Russia. So the fact that everything is being, I think, resupplied, things are getting better, I think it's a sign, again, America can adjust when difficult times, when turbulence hit. But, just overall, I wanted to just respond to what I heard. I just think the economy is going from zero, standstill, because of COVID. We put it in a sleep, essentially, and now it's coming back to life. It's going from standstill to hyperspeed, and there's going to be turbulence. You may not have your Chick-fil-A sauces. You may have a shortage of ketchup here, lumber there, used cars over there. But it's just like, on a takeoff when you hit a little turbulence. Every big sign, stock markets, treasury bonds, all good stuff.
Jesse, that was just basically like winding you up, and I'll let you go from there.
Yeah. Juan's not panicking, but the White House is. You always say the Biden White House doesn't panic. Well, now there's 3 reports that's saying they're panicking. That means it's 10 times worse than they're actually saying. Biden's probably having his dog bite people. He's so angry. The reason why inflation, Juan, is such a political killer is because it affects the left and the right equally, but it affects the poor and the rich unequally. So it gives rise to populism, something Joe Biden barely tamed and is still boiling beneath the surface. But forget about what it does to a politician. It can set countries back years. Look what it did to Germany or Brazil, and it happens only because you spend and print too much money. So we've asked for it. And Joe Biden's $300 weekly bonus is now creating a high unemployment situation. You combine inflation, high unemployment, you get stagflation. A wonderful word to say, stagflation, sounds so good to say, but is a horrible thing to experience. And the only thing you can do to beat stagflation or inflation is raise rates and stop printing money. And when you do that, the economy suffers. So what are they going to do? Joe Biden's going to have to act, because the longer you wait, the harder it is to take care of. And Joe Biden's toolbox is limited, because anything he tries, the left is going to freak out. If he tries to say, hey, Republicans, maybe I'll lower the cost of my plans, they'll freak out. If he says, hey, let's stop the border influx so we can maybe raise wages, left is going to freak out. If he says, energy producers, let's try to increase supply, take some price pressure off, left's going to freak out. So eventually, Fed's going to have to jump in. They're going to have to raise rates. It's going to hurt the economy. And Biden's going to do just what Barack Obama did, blame his predecessor for the bad recovery.
Remember that? Get a mop. And by the way, Greg, I wore this in honor of your logo.
I thought so.
Exclamation point.
It was either that or circus peanuts.
Oh, do you like those?
No, I
Yes.
hate them.
I kind of like those when I was growing up. Dagan?
Delicious. I'm a
Thought
redneck,
so.
though, so.
Me too. All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.